Ever wonder what those little black bars on your packaging actually do? I mean, I know you've seen them. They're on the back of every packaging. Well, most founders think barcodes are just for scanning at checkout and that's it. But if you get them wrong, you can lose retail deals, confuse distributors because you got the barcodes wrong. So today we're breaking down UPCs, gtins, and of course barcodes and what they mean, how to get them, and how to set your CPG product up for retail success everywhere you go. Welcome back to another CPG 101 with me, Eric, where we help every CPG founder when it comes to ideas, questions, discussion, or anything so that you can take your CPG business to the next level. If you're selling on retail or selling online or any kind of way you deal with distribution, you will need a barcode. Make sure you get this right once and it'll work everywhere, because if you get it wrong, you'll be printing new labels and delaying your launch. Yes, you'll be paying for rework and delaying your launch. Let's get into it since we break everything down into steps. This has to do with being barcode and UPC ready. Step 1, what is a barcode and what does it actually do? A barcode is a machine readable symbol that stores your product's unique number, of course, your UPC code. That's what it does. It stores your unique number, which will be your UPC code. And when a store scans that barcode, like with the gun and do, their system instantly pulls up your product. It pulls up the product name, size, and a price so they can make sure it keeps count of how many they're selling. Because without it, you can't track inventory, you can't track sales online, or get scanned at a checkout because the system won't register you being in their system to be able to keep up with the data. Remember, barcodes equal product identity and retail systems. Step 2, what is a UPC code? I'm glad you asked. A UPC, or a universal product code, is the number tied to your barcode. Yes, it's a 12-digit code that uniquely identifies your product and what it is. So it identifies your CPG product because each variation, each flavor, size, or pack has its own UPC. Nobody's UPC is the same for your brand or your company. For example, let's use Rise Energy Water has a lemon flavor. The number will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, 1, 2. And we have a Rise Energy peach flavor, and the number will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 0, 2, 9. Even if they're the same product, but with a different flavor, they each get their own number. They can't share the same number because it will skew it and mess it up when it comes to counting sales. Here's a little pro tip for you. Every SKU equals a unique UPC. Every SKU equals a unique UPC. Remember that. Step 3, where to buy legit UPCs. You can't just buy barcodes on eBay or PayPal or on random websites around the corner or just anywhere, because those are recycled numbers that aren't registered to your company. And because of that, major retailers will reject them. Yes, major retailers will reject those barcodes. So you need to buy directly from gs1.org, the only official source for UPCs in the US, because that way your brand name is tied to your codes in the global database. This is a serious thing, and it'll be tied to it forever. Forever, ever, forever, ever. Remember, you gotta buy from gs1.org, the only official source to get your UPCs. Step 4. Eric, what's the difference between UPC, gtin, and EAN? Well, let's clear this up now, because these terms get thrown around a lot and they're interchangeable and people kind of get confused. But they're not identical. They're not the same. They're different in their own way. Let me break it down. A UPC is a universal product code. It's a standard 12-digit code used in North America. That's what UPC is. And an EAN is a European article number, which is a 13-digit international version and is used outside the US, Canada, other places like that. And a gtin is a global trade item number. It's the universal format that includes both UPCs and EANs. That's what each one of those means. When you think of a gtin, you think of it as the umbrella, and the UPCs are just different versions under it. Just remember that. gtin is the top, and under the umbrella are the other two. Remember, UPC equals US, EAN equals international, and gtin equals a global system for all of them. Step 5, how to set up your product in GS1. Yes, if you're new to this, to get your product in GS1, you need to go to gs1.org and create a company prefix. That's your company's unique ID as a manufacturer. So once you got your unique ID as a manufacturer, you need to go from there and assign individual UPCs to each one of your SKUs, depending on how many you have. For example, this will be your prefix, 0851234. Product 0851234000001. And then product 2, 0851234000002. You'll get downloadable barcode files that you can send to your label designer or printer. That way you can go ahead and add those barcodes to all your SKUs, and then you'll be up and running when it's time for you to go live, when it's time for you to sell or do anything else. Step 6, designing the barcode area on your packaging. Yes, it's very important that you design the correct barcode area on your packaging because barcodes must be readable by scanners. Placement and contrast matter. Please remember these rules of thumb. 1, minimum size has to be 1.5 inches wide. 2, black bars on a white background. Very important. 3, leave clear space around it. No design elements too close or anything running into it that make it hard to scan. Number 4, avoid printing over shiny or reflective materials because it can mess with the scanner and won't read your barcode. And lastly, put it on the back or bottom corner of the packaging. And make sure it's not wrapped around edges or any kind of curved surfaces because it's going to make it hard to scan and read. Of course, you got to make sure. Always remember this. Make it scannable because it equals make it sellable. Remember that. Make it scannable because it equals make it sellable. If you just have that thought in your mind, I need to make sure I make it scannable, that it can equal making it sellable. If you remember that, you'll be fine. Scannable equals sellable. Just remember those two things, and every time when you put your barcode on the back of your product, if you think about that, you'll always put it in the right spot because it'll be scannable and then it'll also equal to being sellable. Step 7, digital barcodes for online retailers. You gotta have barcodes for everything. That's what I'm telling you. If you're selling on Amazon or Walmart.com, your UPCs are your key to your listings. Platforms use your gtin to verify your product and prevent duplicates from other people trying to copy or do anything else. That's why it's very important to have that. Because once you've assigned a UPC from GS1, you can use that same code across all online marketing places, no matter where it is, Amazon, Walmart, Shopify, wherever. Just remember, same UPC works everywhere. Just remember that. The same UPC, it works everywhere. Same UPC equals working everywhere. Same UPC equals working everywhere. Step 8, common mistakes CPG founders make when it comes to UPCs and everything else. Buying barcodes from unofficial sources, trying to cut corners on prices. Using one UPC for multiple SKUs, that's number 2. Number 3 would be cropping or resizing barcodes incorrectly. Just don't even know why. Number 4 will be forgetting to test scan before printing. You got to make sure it scans and picks it up before you print. And lastly, always test your barcode file with a retail scanner or POS app before you order 10,000 labels. Because if the first label don't work, it'll save you the headache and you can work it out before you order all those other labels. Please make sure you test scan before you print. Test scan before you print. Step 9, the cost breakdown. A GS1 company prefix starts around $250 all the way up to $750, depending on how many UPCs you need for your brand. The price can vary. You'll also pay a small annual renewal fee, usually under about $150 for small brands, and if you have a larger brand, it could definitely go up higher. Like I said, depending on your SKUs. Compare that to losing a major retail order because your barcodes don't scan. It's worth every penny. Because if you go out there and get them unofficial barcodes and lose a lot of money on the retail, you'll wish you had paid the GS1 price. Make sure you invest once and register right. Make sure you invest once and register right. Because once you get those things done correctly, you will be able to have CPG success in all retailers. Step 10, our bonus tip. Case barcodes or ITF 14. If you're shipping full cases to distributors, you'll also need a case level barcode, which is called an ITF-14. It's linked to your UPC, but identifies the case and not the individual unit. It identifies the case and not the individual unit. Your co-packer or fulfillment center will usually print it on the outer cartons so they can make sure when they roll up, they scan it, they know what's in the product. Remember, your ITF-14 is your case barcode. Your ITF-14 is your case barcode. Because you have to remember, your barcode isn't just a label. It's your passport to retail. It's your passport to retail. Get it right from day one, and your product will be ready for any store, anywhere, anytime. But if you get it wrong, well, you got a long ways to go. And it can hinder you when it comes to sales. It can hinder you when it comes to growth. And it can hinder you when it comes to a retailer knowing if your product is doing well in their store or doing worse in their store. Make sure that you keep a hold of all your barcodes and you have everything marked correctly on your products, and you making sure that every barcode on your product or on your SKUs also scan correctly. And thanks again for tuning in to CPG 101 with me, Eric. If you enjoyed this video, or if this video was helpful in any kind of way, shape, or form, please make sure to hit the like and subscribe button and share this video with all your CPG friends or any CPG founders you know that are looking to start a business and they have a lot of questions or they don't know what to do or how to start. Because like I said, CPG 101 with Eric is all about answering our CPG questions, having great conversation, and making sure that we all come together as a community so that we can help each other when it comes to growing our business. Yes, once again, thank you for tuning in, and I'm your boy, CPG 101, Eric.